What does it take to foster creativity in an organization? In the best cases, the pieces come together and produce outputs which were unimaginable. This has happened in Renaissance Florence for 200 years, or in the Bauhaus for an amazing 14. It has happened in Pixar, Imaginarium. So what does it need to produce these outputs? Can we design it? I wrote several pointers in the piece that accompanies this video, but let me give you the two main points here. The first one is to distinguish between complicated systems and complex systems and see where are you comfortable with. In complicated systems are systems in which all the pieces come together to produce an outcome. These are systems that are designed with the blueprint. A clock will be the prototypical example of a complicated system. This clock doesn't adapt, just does what it's supposed to do well. A complex system, on the other hand, are systems in which the pieces are connected in some way, like neurons in the brain, or fish in a school of fish, or species in an ecology, but the system produces outcomes that were not predictable by looking at the pieces themselves. One can study a fish and not understand how they form schools, or a neuron on how they come together to produce consciousness. These systems are adaptable. On the other hand, in managing these kinds of systems, one has to relinquish some control. A complicated system can be managed with a map. A map gives instructions on how to go from point A to point B to point C. But if the landscape is changeable, if the whole landscape is on fire, a map may not be of much use. What you need is a compass. Managers use maps. Leaders use compass. A leader is happy with relinquishing some control for the possibility of getting amazing bursts of emergence. Not all emergence will be good, but one has to try to create the conditions for successful emergence to happen. So the summary is this. If you are comfortable with complicated systems and maps, you can be very successful in that space, but it's unlikely that amazing outputs of creativity can happen within such a system. If, on the other hand, you want to produce creative components that somehow amazes us, you have to be willing to operate more with complex systems, relinquish some control, and try to develop a map. Leaders produce conditions for successful emergence. As I said, much more in the way of details is in the writing piece that accompanies this video. Happy reading.